Hello and welcome to Gadget Guide USA. Thanks for watching my Viotek Multi-Function Jump Starter product review. As you can see here, I've kind of taken everything out of the package here. It was pretty much shipped to me in this. It's actually a really nice case. It has some netting here and a little felt thing inside and a little separator to keep it organized. It's great when you stick it in your trunk and it rolls around. It kind of has some protective gear. Like I said, I keep mine in my trunk. I don't use it very often, but this actually has a lot of uses outside of being a jump starter. So let's go ahead and dive into some of them. Of course, we're going to start with the actual unit here and talk about the construction. I mean, it's pretty, you can hear that clicking, but I'm pretty much putting all the force I can on it. So I mean, it's solid. It has a plastic with this rubberized outside, so it feels like I could definitely drop it a few times without having a big issue. It has a flashlight here, and we're just going to go ahead and turn it on, and so we can kind of, let's go ahead and kill this. Alright, now that we have some lights off here, you can kind of see the light here. I mean, it's not insanely bright, but for an emergency light on the side of the road, this could be a lifesaver. And then we have our strobe. And then this is actually, it's an additional strobe, but it's actually signaling SOS, which is 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. It's a universal symbol of, I'm dying, help me. So, of course, we like that. But looks like I turned it off there, and it just goes through all those and then of course turns off. So it's pretty simple. Like I said, this is mainly an emergency device, so the light could be really handy. We have all kinds of ports here. So now that we've talked about the light, like I said, it's not insanely bright, but it is an additional feature. It has an LCD here, and of course you're not going to be able to see it. Due to my studio lighting, which is really bright, I seriously doubt that you'll be able to see this the LCD display. Basically, there's a battery indicator right here. Well, let me actually see what you can see here. There's essentially a battery indicator right here in the upper left. Okay, you can see that, which displays, a battery image of how full it is. The percentage there is also an additional battery display, and we have all kinds of signs here. Right now, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, it has this little engine symbol with a lightning bolt, and that means that it has enough battery capacity to start the car. Once you get below 60%, that little starter symbol disappears because you have to have 60% or above charge in order to jumpstart a vehicle. So just keep that in mind as you go. It does actually have an excellent battery life. I've had this for about 3 days. It's down to 76%. I charged it completely to full. It came 80% full. I filled up all 4 of my tires from 36 or 34 pounds up to 40 pounds. I've played with the light. I've plugged everything in. I've charged my cell phone off of it, and it's at 76%. So I would guess that I used all the battery. So the actual sitting life, like if you just toss it in your car, should be really good. So of course we do like that. So we're going to go ahead and sit it down. It has all these ports here, and that's going to be for charging and things like that. In addition to being a vehicle jump starter, an emergency flashlight, you can also charge your phone here, and it charges just as fast as my 2-amp brick charger, so of course we do like that. It has a DC in here, and that's for charging. You have 2 different ways you can charge it. It came with the cigarette lighter charger, so you can charge it in your car while it's running. It just has a pretty standard cigarette lighter and pretty this. I did test it, and it just plugs right in there. It also has a home charger, so you can charge it using the wall. And this is just your standard home charger here with the exact same plug as the CLA attachment. And so you can charge it either way, and of course we like the options of being able to charge it in different ways. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that in there. What this is in addition to all its other features, it can jumpstart a car, but you can also power a cigarette lighter, using the battery. So, this not only can it be used for a jump starter for a car, it has a lot of different functions. So you actually, if you needed to say, power some type of cigarette lighter attachment while you're camping or something like that, it also has that option. I can't think of a whole lot of options or a whole lot of things I'd want to do with it, but maybe somebody out there is more inventive than I am. But it does give you that out as well, and that's a power out. So we like that. It also comes with, as you can see here, it has this PSI gauge, and this is to fill up your tires in an emergency. Like I said, I've already used this. I went out and checked my tires, and I realized they're all set to 36 pounds per square inch. They're maximum 44, so I just decided to fill them up to 40. I really don't know why. It's just something I decided to do to test the device. It didn't fill up very fast. It took to go from 36 psi to 40 psi. It took about 4.5 minutes per tire. Some of the tires weren't really on 36, they were on 38, so it took a little bit less time. But I just used the 3 tires that were at 36. Like I said, it took about 4.5 minutes. So it's not amazingly fast, but it did work. I was worried about the accuracy of the meter. When you actually screw this into your tire, it will say a certain PSI, and it's incorrect. You actually have to turn the device on, and it has to have power in order to get a good reading on this. So just to note, if you plug this into your tire and don't have any power, this gauge is incorrect. If you turn the power on, the needle will actually jump to what the real PSI is, so we need to keep that in mind. What I did is I have 2 regular tire pressure checkers. They're not expensive or anything. They're just like $2 ones that I bought from Advance. And I will say that both of the tire gauges were plus or minus 2 pounds per square inch when this was on the 40. So I mean, it's relatively accurate. To be honest, the 2 tire gauges I bought were 1 pound off from each other. So you know, it's relatively accurate, and it will definitely work in a pinch, even if it's slow. It comes with some other accessories here to fill other stuff. So you have your basketball needle. I imagine most people would recognize this. And it has a couple other things. You know, I'm not really sure what this exactly would be used to fill, but I imagine it seems kind of important. In order to fill a basketball or something, you just screw this right in, and it screws in pretty easily. So you can fill a basketball. The basketball fills really fast. And I didn't use these other 2 attachments, but you know, they're there, and I always like to have extra things, even if I'm not going to use them. I guess you know, I'm just kind of weird like that, but of course we like that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. So the next thing we have, okay, we've already talked about that. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And as you can see, I'm just kind of sticking them in here. Everything fits really well, so, well, I guess it's a bad example when I say everything fits well and it doesn't fit in very well, but hey, it's there. Now we're going to close that, and now this is the actual jump starter part. Like I said, you have to be sure that the car is at, or the battery is at 60% or more in order to do the jump start. So of course we already saw this. That's to charge. That's to charge this battery. This USB can be charged to charge any phone or anything, and I'm actually going to give you an example of that. And then this is the DC out where you can plug the cigarette lighter in. Underneath here in this weather protected strip here, I can, oh, well, I guess I should just follow the arrow, right? So we have this open here. And basically what you do is you plug this in here. I do like the fact that it's keyed entry, so you can't mix it up. And it also has reverse voltage protection. So if you accidentally plug this on in the wrong colors, it will not burn out your battery, so which is a good thing. And basically what you do is you connect both ends to your battery there, and then you push this power button. And you can see it's green there. It actually, when you're trying to jump start your car, it turns solid green and stays green. As you can kind of see, it's green and blinking. I think that means that it's not getting a connection. But when you actually hook it up to your battery and push the button, it gives you a steady green light to let you know that it is in fact jumping. It works well. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the manual here. It's actually a really well written manual. It goes over everything with flashlight LED, where it is. It tells you exactly what the ports do. It tells you it's a jump starter, high security. I don't know what high security means, but it's there. It's a power bank, so you know you can charge your cell phone, or if you want to charge any USB device at all, it works fine. Emergency light, it has a compass, and it's mini and easy. I also forgot that's another feature I mentioned, or forgot to mention, was the compass. It does constantly point north. I just compared it to an app on my phone, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get a close-up of this compass here. So, see if I can't get some focus there. There we go. And there's the compass. It's really small, but it does in fact work. The only downside to the compass is you really need to try to hold it level. If you try to angle it or anything, the compass doesn't spin fast enough to get a good reading. But as long as you hold it relatively level, it does work fine. It's just kind of slow to respond. So, you know, I mean, a compass isn't something like, oh my God, I wish I had a compass. But times when you do need a compass, you know, you really need a compass. So, you know, additional features never hurt, and it is just a small thing, so it's not a big deal. I really feel like it adds, you know, adds more of the emergency survivalist type thing. We'll keep going over the manual here. So it gives you the size, the battery capacity, 44.4 watt hours. I really don't like that. Most batteries are generally rated by milliamp henries. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is I have my USB testers. I use this quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in here, and the battery gives me a reading of 1,977 milliamp henries. That's really standard, so it's a 2,000 milliamp henry battery. This voltage tester isn't the most accurate, but it gives me a great idea of what's going on, and it normally reads a little bit low. Like some batteries that are 2,000 milliamp henry read 1999. This one reads 1977, which is well within a reasonable range. And what I'm plugging in here is just my standard cell phone to, let me go ahead and turn it on here. So it begins charging my cell phone. As you can see there, it is in fact charging it. It gives you the little arrow and all that stuff. And now it has some readings here. It says the battery is 1,977 milliamp henries, which is really 2,000. It's running at 5.06 volts, 5.04. It flips back and forth, so that's standard for USB. And it's charging my phone at 0.26 amps, which is 260 milliamps. That is the exact same that is the exact same current that flows when I'm charging with my standard 2 amp brick charger. So it should charge your phone exactly the same speed that your home charger charges it in. As we continue going down, it tells you it's some peak current and all that. Starting current it maximizes 400 amp peak current. That's important for jump starting your car. It tells you about the charging logo in the top screen. It also has some other indicators here that it tells you about. When you actually turn it on, you can see when you push this button, it gives you a light to let you know that the button is on. When you plug in a USB device, it lets you know that it's USB charging device. And then also when you plug in this air meter, if I plug it, it's kind of loud. And when you plug in this, it also kind of gives you some type of signal. It is to note that you can plug this in and it will work while it's charging as far as the ports, but you cannot turn the flashlight on while the object is charging. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I definitely noticed it's something I mentioned. If you plug in something here while charging it, the flashlight automatically turns off and you cannot turn the flashlight on. So it has plenty of status indicator lights, plenty of emergency functionality. It gives you a proper on how to jump start your car. It's actually pretty simple. You just hook up the clamps, plug it into here, push the start button, done. So it tells you how to charge your phone, which is pretty self-explanatory. Plug it in and wait. And it tells you some of the features. It has overcurrent protection, which of course I didn't test. Short circuit protection. So if you touch the two together, it should prevent that. It should prevent any damage from happening to your car. Reverse charge protection, reverse polarity protection, and over discharge protection. It's not like I can test all those, but I have full faith that it works. It seems to be a very solidly built device. I like the rubber all over it. That means I can drop it a few times and not have to worry about breaking it. Definitely seems like a solid product. If you need to jump start your car, if you need to fill up tires, if you need to charge a cell phone, if you need to run a USB device, it has all kinds of options, all kinds of functionality. I like to be a prepared type of guy, so this is something I want to keep in my car and my wife's car to make sure that we don't get stranded on the side of the road over a flat tire or a dead battery or oops, I left my headlights on at work type deal. So it's definitely handy and something I recommend. And for the price, this is definitely a value-focused product. Definitely getting 2 thumbs up from the Gadget Guide. I hope you enjoyed my product review today. Subscriptions are always appreciated. Thank you. Comments are always welcome at the bottom of the page. And if you have any specific questions, comments, or suggestions, please email me at GadgetGuideUSA@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.